Good afternoon and welcome everybody to April 2026, our birthday month's Easy Talks. So
Hey.
I'd like to introduce my sis, E.
Hello.
Who are you?
Oh, I'm Erika Lynn, the E and Easy.
And I am Zendalannette, the Z of Easy. So not sure what we're talking about, but my sis is going to kick us off with what Chantel has gifted us with this month.
Boop, 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 boop. And we do have a special guest this month.
Gummy.
Boop, boop, boop. So he's home from school. He just finished his snack, and I was sitting here. It's okay, baby. You were eating a snack, and I'm sitting here. And so yeah, he decided to join us. So welcome, Gummy, to Easy Talks. You say hello.
Welcome.
Hi. Hi. This is a 12-year-old boy in 2026. This is what happens. So, okay. Wow. Chantel just be doing what she be doing. I'm like, I had to read the question twice. Like, really?
I'm
Okay. So
scared.
here we go. Here are three questions that will pull truth out of you both
Oh gosh.
and create a real experience for our audience. So, audience, get ready. So, question one. Where in my life am I still choosing comfort over truth? And what is that costing me?
Gosh.
Right?
I don't want to easy this month. That's okay. That's too deep. Oh, you know what? That's deep. So for me, where I am choosing comfort is in my business with TRC. One of the things that I've been reflecting on is when lifes, because I innately can just keep kind of going. I do the things that are just easy to do as far as TRC, doing my blog post, um, doing some journaling, doing my yoga. But one of the things about my human design is that I should be sharing that organically. And because I've been in a position where if anybody's read my blog this month, I've been up against the ropes of life. And like life has been like jabbing, uppercut, face shot, but I've been moving. And in the midst of that happening, I have been doing just kind of what flows to me instead of, I do have that initiating aspect of my human design as well. And I've been lax on that. I even went like 3 days without doing my yoga because life was lifing. And I felt what that looked like. So, and I'm not sure if this is part of the question or not. So what I did was I challenged myself. I I'm not doing things to do them for show or performance, but I am setting some bold intentions to do things to elevate my business and to move myself forward. Because as I've been lifing and been up against the ropes, I've been receiving calls from publishing companies, but I haven't responded, you know. But I've been asking God, like, send me a publishing company, we'll dabble. So I've been comfortable in just doing the modalities and making sure I stay balanced. But I feel like what God is calling me to do is maintain that balance, but also take it that next level. Do something different to get something different. Yeah, you can stay balanced. Yeah, you can stay status quo, but what's making you uncomfortable? And so I'm starting to do the things as it pertains to entrepreneurship that's making me uncomfortable, in addition to responding and allowing what organically is flowing to come and for me to respond to, because it's easy to get caught up in life and get caught up just being up against the ropes. But trick no good, not doing that. So I'm about to get uncomfortable with going to that next level and pushing through and bobbing and weaving despite the blows coming my way. Did that answer the question?
Mm-hmm.
What are you
Absolutely.
laughing at, Gummy?
um, yeah, I feel like real life when I read that question, part of me just kind of shut down immediately. Like, Right? That's what we not gonna do. And yeah, I think that one of the areas that I have been seeking comfort over truth um is, and I'm smiling, like one of my things is like I smile when I get uncomfortable. And yeah, there is a situation right now that I am navigating on the back end. It is not something that I have shared publicly. Those in my circle know what is going on. Um, and it is such a um it is a very it is an area of my life that is very what's the word that I'm looking for? It's a part of my everyday life. It is um yeah, it's an area of my life that yeah, I don't even know what words to share. And I think that for me, for quite a while, I have been very like upfront, honest. Really, I think it started when all of the things with the conversion disorder happened. I was hospitalized at the end of 2021, going into 2022, and I have been very vocal about my life and about the unfolding of my life, and I have shared my life as really like an open book. And in this area that I'm currently navigating, um it's a part of my life that's not, it's not just about me. And that's one of the reasons why I've kept it closed. And in saying that, it is for sure an area where I'm choosing comfort over truth, because it's like I said, it's a part of me. Like it's a huge part of me. I was going through, I have my big old little sketchbook that I do some of my writings and stuff in, and um working on, rebuilding my identity and all of this. It's a title, you know what I mean? It's a brick in the foundation of me. And change is hard, like it's hard when it's hard when it's something that you feel led to do, but you don't want to do it. And that's the part for me, is like I can get real good at making, at in my mind, creating a narrative around continuing a behavior that is not holistically serving me. And although I know that it's time to release it, and I know it's time to let it go, and I know it's time to surrender, part of my mind, I'd be like, well, what about this though? And what about that? And hold on, like, this is worth looking at. And if we just change the way that we're looking at this piece, it's really, it's, and so that's an area where I feel like I'm choosing comfort, even though the truth is there. And I feel like I talked for 15 minutes and didn't really say a lot. But again, it's like it's that area that's just yeah, it's not quite ready for the world yet.
May I say something, sis?
Mm-hmm.
So, what I would offer you an opportunity, because what I hear you say is, and the way that I am sharing this space with you is I acknowledge that you, or I would say give yourself more credit because I think in the discomfort that you're seeing as discomfort is actually the growth. And I think
Mm,
in that stillness and in that quiet is when God talks to you and he speaks to you. And not just you, to me, to people. And I feel like maybe you feel like it's uncomfortable because it's an evolution for you and it's an elevation for you because in that elevation for you is that silence. And I have been in that space as well because in that silence it's sacred. Everybody doesn't need to know. And so even though it may seem like it's discomfort, it's actually growth.
mm,
It's growth. It's healing because you're protecting your being as you navigate spaces that typically you would have shared. But who you are today is not shareable. It's for
mm.
those who only you want to know, who only you want to know. FYI only, intimately, sacredly, collectively. So, and I'm not discounting what you said because those are your feelings. So please understand that. But I just want you to honor the fact and want you to acknowledge the fact that you are doing that thing. And that even though it may seem uncomfortable, because trust me, we're both navigating some things. But I also know I'm aligning and I'm journeying with you and I see the growth. So it's uncomfortable, but it's not you trying not to do something because I'm so scared. It's I'm quiet and I'm uncomfortable because this is growth, but I'm doing this because this is for my benefit. You're making space for you to convene with the Most High.
That part. Thank you for that reframe, SS.
You're welcome.
All right. The second question Chantel has is, wow, what version of me am I grieving right now, and who am I becoming because of it?
Mm. Hmm. You know, as I navigate the space of mother, I'm grieving the consequences and the damage that the dark mother caused in the lives of my children. I'm grieving the fact that I was so domesticated and so broken that I didn't see it as I sit in a space of immense gratitude for the person that I can show up as today and for the person that I am becoming, one that is healed, one that is evolving, one that is releasing all types of what everybody else says I'm supposed to be and how I should be navigating and what I should be doing and what I should. It's a deep level of grief coupled and when I say grief, not from a negative standpoint, right? Because there's grief that's good grief. It's grief that's associated with growth. It's grief that elevation allows for um impact and positive ripple beyond myself. And it's interesting because as I started this journey almost 10 years ago, and you remember our conversation, and maybe when we first met, and I was like, I'm going to change the trajectory of my family. I didn't understand the levels of which, the depth to which that actually meant. So in this space, I'm grieving the loss of who that person was. But I'm grateful that I've lost aspects and characteristics and have evolved that version. Um, And I'm grateful for who I am being called to be, even though I don't even know and understand what that all entails right now. And I'm okay with that. And that too is uncomfortable, but it's a good discomfort because I know when I get that feeling, that means that there's some good things happening. And as I say that, I look at my daily anchor. And when I'm feeling that way and having to grieve, I have this pinned on my wall at work and I
Can
carry
you
it in
read
my
it
book.
for those SS who haven't heard it?
Yes. So my daily anchoring prayer is God, I trust you even when I don't understand. Guard my mind, guard my heart, protect my peace, and cover my family. I release what is not mine to carry. Strengthen me to be who you've called me to be, moment to moment. Amen.
Amen.
So, did I answer all the parts of the question? Okay.
Hmm.
It's and I don't want to sound like I'm heavy in this, but like both of us are navigating some spaces and some things that is requiring like a level of humility, right? A level of really acknowledging the fact that my ego played a huge role in my life for many years. And the grieving of the loss of that ego, right? But grateful. So yeah. I know this is short, so I'll stop talking.
Yeah, no, but I mean, I appreciate that. And as you said that, I thought about that, and I'm like, wow, like, we have been doing easy now, going on 3 years. Like we're in our third year, and this is our birthday month.
Hmm.
And I remember last month's easy, we're like, we're getting ready to have April, and it's our birthdays, hey. And this month has been interesting. And I mean, I feel like this is one of the first easies where like we're recording live right now, and we're in the thick of it. Both of us right now. And I highlight that to those who are watching, because we may not be like as hype as normal, and we're okay.
Hmm.
So like it's a lot, and it's heavy, and you have that anchoring prayer. And um I the one tool that I hold on to so frequently is and I can't even believe this is I know what it feels like to be in my body today. So I
Hmm.
notice when my jaw is tight. I notice when my body is tense. I notice when I'm tight all over. And so what I practice is tapping in, loosening my jaw, taking a quick breath. Being with that breath. It's not this elaborate, grandiose, thing that I'm doing. It's awareness, because
Hmm.
today I know me. And even like to share and be fully transparent, last week for me was the hardest week I've had in a really, really long time. And 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 on Tuesday, I went to a place that I haven't been to since the end of 2021. And in that moment where I was like, what the F? And I pulled over on the side of the road. I was talking to my mom, and I'm like, look, I'm gonna keep it all the way 100 with you. Like, this is where I'm at right now. And I was like, and I gotta go. Like, I gotta go because I don't know what I'm about to do right now, and I gotta go. I need a minute. I'm like, I need a minute.
Hmm.
Um, and that voice inside of me that I am so, so, so grateful for. I want to call it my highest self. I want to call it that peace that's connected to what's bigger and greater than me, to God, to Doug's. And it was like, don't give up on you.
Hmm.
Do not. And that thing, like, you like, just that moment of like, I refuse to give up on me. Like, life, like real life, it is overwhelming AF. And it's like, I'm like, if I was a vehicle right now, I would be on the side of the road and you wouldn't be able to push the button to start me. There's nothing in there to start. Um and so for me, when we talk about grieving, that old version of me, I don't want to say, no, she wasn't a victim. She
Mm-hmm.
didn't know real life, the choices that she had. She real life felt powerless, and she real life felt like life was happening to her, and
Mm-hmm.
she took it personal because she was just
Mm-hmm.
like, what did I do wrong? Like, and I just can't catch a break. And so this new version of me, when I was just thinking like I'm over it, like I can't take anymore, and every time I feel like I can't take anymore, I get another deck of cards, and I'm like, what the bruh, like I what but this new version of me, I know that I know that I know that I know that this is not happening to me, and sometimes it does feel like it's happening to me, while also I know this is happening for me. And it gets to be hard and it gets to be difficult. And I get to traverse and I get to have these experiences. And so when I'm grieving this old version of me from a place of like deep care, like wow, like I see that version of me, and today, like I know my strength, and I know that, again, Doug's, who for me is divine universe, God's source, it's not me, and this person in my life that I don't know what I did, and I guess it's not even what I did, because I didn't have to do anything to be deserving of having this person in my life. Um, I was chosen to share space with this individual. And so when I was going through it, she told me, lean not into your own understanding. And to have someone who can drop that little nugget, shout out to you, SS. Um, but to have that reframe, because it's not about my own understanding. And for me, like that was my breath in that moment. The breath,
Mm-hmm.
like, because if I lean into my understanding, that's where those questions come from. And that's the behavior of the older version of me. But
Mm-hmm.
today, because of all that I have been through, I am wise. I
Mm-hmm.
am strong. I know that I am resilient AF. I know that I will always rise. You know what I mean? And so I grieve her. I grieve that. And today, like, I know that I'm okay. And
Mm-hmm.
I find solace in knowing that even though all this is happening, I'm held
Yes.
by something bigger and greater. The footprints in the sand is my everything, because I know it's in these moments where it is not I, but it is the divine that is carrying me and that is holding
Mm-hmm.
me, and all is well. Even while in my mental, my human self, I'm like, what the actual F? Um, it's all unfolding divinely on purpose and with purpose. There's no accidents, there's no mistakes, there's no trouble that I'm in. That's the other part too. I'm not wondering what I did wrong to deserve this. I've shifted into something else that is like, I'm going through this because I'm a walking lighthouse, and I'm going through this because one day somebody else is going to be going through something similar, and I'm going to be able to shine that light in their storm. So it's okay. And yes, it shakes me. And yes, it's like, what, again, what the actual F? And when I pause and when I ground and when I loosen my mouth and when I connect with the sockets of my eyes and when I allow my shoulders to drop and when I feel that breath in my belly and I feel that breath from the inhale all the way through, all the way down, and then all the way out within a matter of seconds,
Mm-hmm.
I know my truth.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So again, being mindful, because your girl likes to talk. Ooh, if I stopped waiting to feel ready, what would I do next? And what's actually stopping me?
Mm. You know what, sis? And I say this with no arrogance at all. I can say that I'm no longer waiting for anything and that there's nothing stopping me. I'm getting emotional. What
Mm,
I am doing is setting the intention and being intentional about what I do and making sure that it is from a space of authenticity, that it's a space from love, and that it's a space of joy. And I'll say that because moment to moment, as I've journeyed to now chapter 52, I'm constantly reminded of who that I'm not who I used to be. On my birthdays, I used to wait for all the calls to come and I'd answer all the calls. But like you said earlier, April has been one of the hardest months. In full transparency, again, as I shared in my blog, the last 15 months have been the hardest. And then April, with the level and intensity of the rage, the punches, the blows. Yes, I'm grateful for another year, but I wasn't positioned to pick up every phone call. But the beauty of it is the old me would say, wow, people would just send a text. Why wouldn't they pick up the phone? Those text messages that I received and the words in some of those text messages literally changed changed my way of how I view what is appropriate and what is not. Old me again, you should pick up the phone and call. This version of me, those words that I was able to read, that I can actually go back to and read to understand the impact and the types of relationships that I have, whether they're day to day or they're just for years, not seasonal, lifetime, all rooted in the word, all giving encouragement, affirmations, holding me up. So to get back to the question of what's nothing is stopping me, but I'm doing it in divine timing, not when somebody else says I should do it or doing it when I feel like I should because that's what expected, but literally doing it when is it divinely, organically, and authentically aligned. Because what I know that I know that I know is when I honor the way that I have been designed divinely, my human design has not held me up. Yes, God is the source, but my human design has been the tool which has helped me to navigate. Old me would have tried to control every situation. Well, let me do this. Let me do this. Well, if I do this, then I can do this. But now I know when I set the intention and I pray and not wait, but just be still and allow for flow, I don't, and I stay ready, meaning I'm doing the work. I'm being balanced. I know what I would want to do. I know the desires of my heart. I've put pen to paper. I've made the connections, and I'm positioning myself so that when God allows whoever I'm supposed to be connected to make way for me or me make way for them, it automatically and organically flows. And I don't need to be ready because I stay ready and I'm not going to let anything hold me back from what I'm supposed to divinely be doing. And then I'll share this and then I'll stop. You go through life and you're like, well, am I doing the right thing? Am I in the right job? Am I doing this? I've been at Western now for almost 2 years. I had a colleague who left the university. We talked throughout the day. I'd use boards, for motivational things of that nature. One day, I think it was last week, in the midst of it all, I received an email on my company's website thanking Zenda for holding space for the impact that I'd made in that person's life. And so when you don't know what you don't know, but you do your work to be ready, right? Not to just to be present, to hold space and be his vessel, God's vessel. He shows you how just when you need it. And so when I saw that message, I was like, God, I am where I'm supposed to be. And the connection that it was really about my personal business, not Western's business, for which I was able to be a vessel. But because he positioned me here, I've been able to do what I need to do. So it's real, y'all. As hard as it is right now, it's not true. It's not hard. It's no, it's hard.
That part.
That's the word. But I'm not letting anything stop me. You're not holding me back because that's what the enemy wants. For to be so shook and so up against the rope, so pressed, huddled in a corner, just taking the blows, headshot, body shot, jab, jab, uppercut. No, trick no good, as my sis says. I got
That
my
part.
gloves on. I'm positioned gracefully with them low. But if it comes, I'm a guard and I'm gonna wear my guard, my shield. And it's been holding me down. So nothing is gonna stop me. I'm gonna just stay ready and I'm gonna do the work so that I can be ready for what God has me positioned for. Because what we're enduring, sis, we know it's for something. And we know
Mm.
at the end of it, the reward is going to blow our minds. God's lavish, unfailing abundance is going to shower. The windows of heaven are going to open up and it's going to overflow so much that we can't even handle it. And because I'm connected to you and you're connected to me, we already know it's aligned. And we already know when this happens to me, it's happening to you. When it happened to you, it's happening to me and everybody else that we're associated with. That's the beauty of, of the collective.
Talk about it. Yes, and I love that you say that because this is how, like, the things between my SS and I, because you got that email last week, and then this week, um on Monday I was in the office and there was this little card on my office door, and my Monday morning was super busy, just getting ready for our staff meeting. And then after our staff meeting, I went to go teach a class for Momentum called Overcoming Negative Habits. And so once I got done with all of that, I went back into my office, opened up the card, and it was from a student from last term's Momentum who I guess just gave me a thank you card. And so reading that card, and like, for me, it that was everything. Like,
Mhm.
me speaking at Momentum is it's a volunteer opportunity. It's an opportunity to serve. It's an opportunity to give to others what's been given to me. And so
Mhm.
for her to take the time to write this message thanking me, and she was like, thank you for sharing your story and your journey, and it's right, it's what I needed for where I'm at on my journey. And because of what I shared with her, she said, I know it gets better. And
Mm.
I'm like, that was everything, like I said, like, being that light, it does get better. And I know what it's like to be like, for what? What's the point? Like, I literally I had a limiting belief I was working on this morning, reframing, and it was from 2024. And it
Mm.
just called out to me. Whoa, my mouth was super juicy. It just called out to me so loud, and I was like, like, wait, we need to reframe this now. Even though it's
Mhm.
2 years old, the language that I wrote in this, and the last part of that was, what's the point? And I wrote on there, this moment, getting here, that was the point. And so
Mhm.
being able to share it, and someone ground in it, because of what I saw, because of what I heard, because of what I experienced, I now know that it does get better. And so tying that to this question, one of the things, I had my a tarot reading done by Queen Nairi, shout out to her, Serenity, for my birthday. And one of the things that it was saying is, like, it's all here.
Mhm.
You just got to show up. And I'm like, it's so wild because every reading, when I do my own, when I've gone to her, I had one done like a few months ago. it's all the same thing over and over and over again. Like, show up, just start. Like, it's here. And then I'd be like, well, I gotta make sure it's all. And it's like, no, just show up and be here. And so, for me, I think what's stopping me is just like that fear of wanting it to be all together, and like positioned and set up in a way. And the thing is like, part of my design is like, I'm here to do something that hasn't been done. I'm here to break the mold. I'm not here to be another cookie cutter. And no disrespect, all due respect to those who do it the way that they do it, but I'm learning my lane. I'm discovering my lane, and my lane is brand new.
Yeah.
And so I get to start. It's not about have to start. And so leaning into that, and that's like what this next chapter for me, chapter 38, has been about, is like just doing it, diving in, not about being perfect. And so, just to hold myself accountable, when we show up for May Easy, I want to put that out there for myself to share, the launch of my business and putting it out there, because I'm like, it is here, and it is, I'm ready. And so, having things to respond to, I've just kind of been like double dutch, waiting for them ropes to get just right so I don't get smacked with a rope. But I'm like, yeah, this is it. Like, it's time. Like,
Girl, get smacked. You'll just start again and just get
that
smacked.
part,
You
like,
get,
it's
yeah.
okay to get tangled up, you know what I mean? You just jump out and jump back in. But
That's it.
yeah, like, I'm ready to start. And maybe I was just waiting for something to respond to. So thanks, Chantel, and thank you to April Easy 2026. Boom, boom, boom. So what are we writing about this month, SS?
Wow. I think I want to, not I think, I'm going to choose to lean more into what you shared and what Chantel created for us. Like, what what is something that you think you're ready for and you're probably ready for, but self-sabotage, self-doubt, domestication, naysayers, insecurities, your shadow parts are holding you back. So, what can you do to negate that? What can you do? So write your plan to overcome the desires of your heart. There it is right there. Write your plan to overcome what is stopping you from inheriting the desires of your heart. There we go. There we go.
All right now. Well, that's it. That's all. This is an easy short. So thank y'all for tuning in. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Gummy, for being here, chilling with us as we
Yes,
eat.
handsome.
Yeah. You want to close us out and say until next month?
Until next month.